Welcome out to the Nerd Effect Podcast. We are on episode number 38. And this week we are here to talk to you about cult films. My name is Dustin Vancouver, and I am joined by my buddies
Malcolm Morgan,
Mason Ireland,
Nikki Prindle.
Yay! And how I made that through with a straight face, I'll never know, because these guys are trying everything to try and get me to get off track.
I figured out that if I make my eye twitch, Dustin laughs really hard.
Yes. I want to start off top of the show by reading the first paragraph out of the Wikipedia definition of cult film.
Excellent idea.
So, just so you know what we're going to be talking about tonight, and I'm sure most of you have a general idea of what a cult film is, but this will give you a good base. A cult film, also commonly referred to as a cult classic, is a film that has acquired a cult following. That seems really repetitive.
Yes.
Cult films.
That's bad Englishes.
Yes. It's quite. Is that
English?
Yeah, it's Wikipedia. You get what you get.
Cult films are known for their dedicated, passionate fan base and elaborate subculture that engage in repeated viewings, quoting dialogue, and audience participation. Inclusive definitions allow for major studio productions, especially box office bombs, while exclusive definitions focus on obscure, transgressive films shunned by the mainstream. The difficulty in defining the term and unsubjectivity of what qualifies as a cult film mirror classifactory disputes about art. The term cult film itself was first used in the 1970s to describe the culture that surrounded underground films and midnight movies, though cult was a common use in film analysis for decades prior to that. And now you know.
Awesome.
I've never heard of the word classifactory before. That kind of tossed me for a second.
It might not be a real word. It's Wikipedia.
No.
Actually, scarily enough, Wikipedia is rated to be equal to and often more up-to-date than, well, still we're maintaining the accuracy of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
You didn't even believe that one. Your heart wasn't in it.
Well, it was kind of, yeah, it was, so before the show started, Nick,
of course, I was going to say, of course, also with that definition, you can't actually quote the Encyclopedia Britannica in an academic paper either. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
do.
You okay, buddy?
I think so. These little factoids keep coming at me. So I gotta keep updating the More You Know song here.
We'll see if we can get into a punk rock version tonight, people. More factoids.
Hit the whammy bar.
Punks don't use whammy bars.
80s metal.
Only if you're going to wear a zebra print spandex jumpsuit and have big hair.
And pink and blue scarves.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can do that as punk is to make that like 4 or 5 seconds down in like 2 seconds, you know.
I really like punk music.
And then repeat. Consecutively.
Sarah Summers, who works here, her husband is in a punk band.
Okay.
I like punk music.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay.
Dropkick Murphys, I believe, classifies as punk music.
Yeah.
And they're good stuff.
They're coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's expensive. Womp womp.
They're here all the time, though.
But it's
It's
expensive.
like at least
all the
once or twice a year, it seems like.
It's because they have a huge following in the Northwest in general, but in Boise, yeah.
time. It's because they're awesome.
Go Boston. So Nikki, at the top of the show, before we started recording, I kind of stopped you mid-conversation because we wanted to save it for the show.
As if I would ever run out of words. I mean...
I know, but I was for fear of repeating ourselves and having it not be as good as the original.
That's totally fine. I was just talking about Troll 2.
Yes.
Which is fantastic, but not at all fantastic if you want to see the shittiest acting of your life and watch a movie that's called Troll 2, has no trolls in it, and is not actually a sequel to anything. Go rent yourself a copy of Troll 2. It's a movie that you can watch. Yeah. There's also a documentary on Netflix. I think it's called The Best Worst Movie, I believe. And they talk about, they actually talked to the director, who thought he was making a serious masterpiece, basically. He doesn't, like, they took him to showings, and he was excited that it was like a release of his movie where people were lined up to watch it, and actually knew about it, and he kept telling everyone he's the director. But then he gets in there and everyone's laughing at parts that he didn't think they were supposed to and reacting in ways he didn't think they were supposed to. And he ended up getting kind of butthurt, I think. But I guess his wife wrote it because one of her friends became vegetarian and she was annoyed by that. So in the movie, there's these goblins, because there's no trolls in the whole movie. There's goblins and they're vegetarian. And they drink Niblog milk, which is grain milk. And they turn people into plants so that they can eat them. And that's the movie. And, like, there's this guy that plays the dad, who is a dentist in real life and had never acted in anything before. And you can really, really, really tell. And then there's this one guy who's... Before I saw the documentary, I thought he was the best character in the whole thing. Super creepy shop owner guy. I'm like, I don't trust that guy, and he's creepy. And he was supposed to be. It turns out the guy was actually mentally insane at the time of filming and did not know that he was in a movie.
Oh,
which is why it was so convincing.
So his
that would explain it.
Yeah.
So his acting must have been spot on.
Horrible. Like, when they turn the people into plants, they literally just... The costume is their feet are in a planter and they've, like, slathered mud on them and then they've got fake leaves coming out of them. And it's just, it's brain-hurty, but it's got this huge following, and people show midnight showings of it, and they make t-shirts for it, and it's crazy. Like, I like bad movies. I love bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually how I saw this, as a friend rented it and came over for a bad movie night. And I'd always wanted to see it, because I've been hearing about it, because it's a cult movie, and when people like a movie like that, they love to tell you about it.
Yep.
Wow, I wish I'd not heard about it because my standards were really low, but they were too high for what I ended up seeing.
It really is that bad.
It's pretty bad. Like, it is, the documentary is aptly named. It is the best, worst movie. Like, it's the worst unintentional bad movie ever made.
Like, it gets a standing ovation for shittiness.
It gets something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, at one point, the little boy's dead grandpa tells him that the goblins poisoned the food that his family was about to eat, so he stands up and pees on it, and his dad carries him to his room and throws him on his bed, and he goes, "You don't piss on hospitality!" And
I've seen this movie.
Yeah, it's like a widely quoted, it's crazy.
It's funny, how old's the movie?
Old.
Yeah, it's like from the 80s?
Early 80s?
Early 80s, yeah.
That's funny, because the fact that you just said that, my brain just opened up a file cabinet and everything just started coming back. I know exactly what you're talking about. The
sexy goblin lady ends up having sex with a teenager in a Winnebago.
Yeah.
She turns into popcorn or some shit like that.
Yeah, that is a shitty movie.
It's a very shitty movie. Apparently the guy that played the little boy hadn't seen it, and then somebody showed him a VHS tape of it because it was like straight to tape, and he was so embarrassed by it.
Oh my god, I was in this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that movie again. Just out of my...
You don't really need to.
It's... The memories you have of it are probably far better than the actual movie.
I feel like as a kid, I kind of enjoyed it or something.
Pay ridiculous amounts of money to go see a midnight showing of this in somebody's basement, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cult movies. Woo, woo, woo.
And good night, folks.
The end.
And the Troll 2 show is over.
Welcome to the Nerd Effect Abridged.
I guess, I mean, I'll just start with my straight up favorite cult film artist. Kevin Smith. The man has, I would say pre-Clerks 2. It's about Clerks 2 where he's, in his podcast and stuff, where he started becoming more, pop culture.
Yeah.
But
he's had huge very specific but very huge following for a very long time with no recognition from the industry. And if you didn't get his stuff, you really didn't get his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Clerks and Mallrats especially were the two big cult films at the time. And Mallrats to this day is like my Bible from age like 15 to 21, 22. It's like that was just pretty much me. Probably in Brody's spot more than anything. If you were to look at any of the characters, a little bit of Brody, a little bit of TS.
Yeah.
Actually, not thinking about it, more because TS didn't enjoy them all. He was just kind of going.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed them all. But I think my mentality was more.
Your mentality was more TS, but your enjoyment of them all was definitely more Brody.
Yes. I just like all the things. Like one of my favorite lines in the movie is, I love the smell of commerce in the morning. And so it's like, I do. I really do. just all the people, and they're all there for one glorious goal to drop more money than they have.
Yep.
But yeah, you get to know people like in the food court and separate places, in the knife shop.
Yeah.
Palmer Lowe's.
Take it back. That's how Mason and I met.
Through his girlfriend who worked at
Baskin Robbins, right across the hall.
Right across the hall. Who went to high school with one of my other really good friends, Brian.
Backstory.
Yep.
So yeah, I love it. That's a great movie. Clerks. I've done the clerk thing before, so I got it.
Yeah, if you've ever been a clerk at a store, you understand clerks so well.
Yeah, if you've ever been a register jockey.
Yeah, you understand it.
Yeah. And then because of my current job, it's not a Kevin Smith movie, it's a Mike Judge movie, but Office Space. Same thing.
Office Space is brilliant, though.
It is so brilliant. But, yeah, it's...
Dustin has that stapler.
I do have a red swing line stapler at my
made
desk.
Specifically because of that movie.
Yep,
Not only that, but what do you call it when somebody smashes a printer with a baseball bat?
Office spacing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there have been times, like, I have to say we did Office Space once at Cyberplace. It was me, Dan, and Dennis, and LC. And, cause there was a printer that just wouldn't fucking work. And, like, it was the one that was in Char's office that was disconnected for like 6 months. And finally we were just like, she kept telling us to hook it up and try it again. And, we did over and over. And finally we were just, screw this. And we took it out back behind the store. We didn't take it out to a field, but we took it out between the store and the highway because the highway was right there. Mm-hmm. And we just had some 2x4s back there from like old pallets from another store. We just beat the shit out of it. Oh, it felt so good.
So satisfying.
Office spacing is actually therapeutic. I will put that out there.
There's a business in town that you can go to, and it's called the Break Room, and you can just pay money to smash shit. I know. I want to go do it so bad.
Yeah, Hinsel and Andrew want to get people together to go down there. And
that would be fun.
Do that.
It really would be fun.
Just put you in a jumpsuit and a helmet, and you just fucking go to town on plates and printers and boom boxes, just whatever they got laying around. I
wonder if they take
whatever
donations.
was cheap at the dollar store.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if they take donations because we have a lot of glass bottles that we go through at my house, and that's satisfying to break.
Yeah.
So.
I have a Gigantor non-working microwave at home.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I wonder if they let you bring your own shit in.
Say the microwave that you would have to take out the magnetron gun first.
No, probably.
But
my brother-in-law and I were going to go out and shoot at it. Sounds very redneck, I know.
Yeah.
We do live in Idaho.
We do.
Yeah.
Mike?
Plus, I'm going to put this out there for people who haven't actually fired a firearm. Before you knock it, give it a try. Because, like, I'm kind of pro gun, but I'm also kind of not pro gun. Like I'm in this weird area.
I'm in the same area.
But you know what? Taking a gun out, target shooting. 1, it's harmless. 2, it's a lot of fun because, like it's a skill you can get better at and you can measurably see results pretty quickly because of, how guns work. They shoot quickly.
And get a little bit of education too, obviously.
Yes,
before doing so.
Makes fun boomy noises.
Yes.
Like that.
And also, get a little education or go with someone who is an experienced shooter.
Yes, like my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And
I like shooting my BB gun at things that go ping.
That works. That's fun too.
that's fun too.
The house I used to live in had like 3 satellite dishes on the back end of it. And we would go out there with our BB guns and ping, 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 ping.
And the people inside are like going, "Why is our reception always jacked
Well,
up?"
we didn't have satellite. They were just
Oh, they were on your
3
roof.
Yeah, they were just on our roof.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought they were like in your neighbor's roof or
Oh
something.
no, they were on our roof from tenants previous to us.
Yeah.
And really fun to shoot at, and sometimes you could see the dents.
Yeah. But and then occasionally it's fun to take like an assault rifle, like an AR or an AK, put in a full 30-round magazine. Mind you, this is still semi-automatic, but you just kind of generally aim at the target and pull that trigger 30 times as fast as possible. Just let it rip. It's fun. Expensive nowadays, but fun.
Yeah, very expensive nowadays. Being ex-military, I have to admit, nothing ever will top firing off that M2 50 cal.
Well, yeah.
There's no firearm I could ever fire again that legally that I could get that much enjoyment out of. But
I believe it.
He's going to turn into Bert, isn't he?
Oh Lord.
Good old Mama Deuce. There's a reason we still use those and how they have not changed.
Well, we had it. When I went on the range with that, we had it mounted on a deuce and a half.
Yeah.
And that deuce and a half still shook like a mother.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. I'm supposed to go next on my movie, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're supposed to talk about movies.
But Big Bada Boom is pretty fun, too.
Big bada
Big
boom.
bada boom. It's on my list.
Oh!
My main one I was going to start with, though, is Blade Runner.
Ah.
That's where my nickname, Decker, comes from. That's what's on my license plate.
Yep.
And
I will admit I've never actually seen that movie.
it,
Should.
I want to.
If you go to watch it, make sure you're getting the original and not the director's cut.
Okay.
Director's cut makes no sense.
Okay.
There's voiceovers that, for some reason, they wouldn't let Ridley Scott use for the director's cut, but you need them to make sense of the movie.
Okay.
But for someone like Mike or I, who's seen the original a lot, we can watch the director's cut and it makes more sense, and it actually does add to the story, I think, because of the parts they added back in. But without the initial voiceovers, it doesn't make any sense to start with. So
Yeah. He's running around looking at stuff and picking stuff up, and you have no idea what's going on.
yeah.
Because the original movie, it's all dialogue explaining, it, like his inner voice, like you would have in a detective story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very film noir-esque in that
Ooh,
case.
now I extra want to see it. I didn't know that about
And it's
it.
in Harrison Ford.
Well, I knew that about it. That's about
And you
all
got-
I knew about it.
Artificial sex slave women running around in see-through plastic outfits, and they get, guns shot at them, and it's just, it's a good movie.
There's more to it than that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the parts that Mike notices.
Yes. But Blade Runner is an awesome movie. I was like, pretty much all things that are truly cyberpunk have a very film noir feel to them. So, including any of the books, which is where a lot of cyberpunk movies fail, is they don't stay true to the source material, and 2, they try to get rid of the film noir aspects, which doesn't do anything for them. That film noir, like, edge is part of what makes that dark film noir edge is part of what makes them good.
Sorry. Now I'm sure there's several people out there going, hey,
Facebook, what?
I have my Facebook.
I was watching a movie the other night and I couldn't figure out what the noise was, and I realized it was somebody kept messaging me on Facebook.
It is turned down now.
Good.
I apologize.
So, Mason.
I'm just going to go straight for the jugular.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Ah, yes. That is the first cult film I ever saw.
Yes. It's for a lot of people who are, I would say, about 50 and younger, to probably 25-ish. It was probably their first cult movie, their first midnight movie.
I didn't see it until these guys showed it to me. It's weird because it's always one of those movies that like was always in the back of my brain as like something I should probably see, but never really took the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Much
Long
like
list
Blade
of
Runner.
movies, yeah.
but Mason's like, all right, we need to watch this, and we sat in our buddy Eric's basement and just popped it up on the projector and said,
Yeah.
"You sit, watch now," and it was a great movie. I love it. Tim Curry is my hero.
Tim Curry is awesome.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's pretty in drag and looks way better in heels than I ever could.
He looks way better in heels than most people ever could. Let's be honest.
It's true.
He's fabulous.
That is true of a lot of drag queens I found, though.
There is that, yeah. Yeah.
Makes me feel a little not feminine.
One of the things about drag queens is that they hyper accentuate all the feminine qualities.
And rock it because they have the attitude to go behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Tim Curry is full of attitude in Rocky
Oh,
Horror.
Tim Curry's full. If Tim Curry is nothing else, Tim Curry's attitude in all movies he's in.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinal. Oh my god, I just forgot the clown's name. But Pennywise.
The father mucker.
Yeah, he like in anything Tim Curry's in, he
Y'all
brings
float
it.
down here.
Yeah,
Nightmares, yay!
but like anything Tim Curry's in, he always brings the attitude of whatever character he's playing. He's like, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the thing is when he was in the Disney version of Three Musketeers, I kept expecting him to throw open the ropes and have the Rocky Horror costume on underneath.
That would have made that such a better movie.
I don't think Disney would have approved.
Probably not.
Probably not. Everyone else would have.
Yeah. But yeah, Rocky Horror. I am still proud to this day to admit that I saw it over 150 times in the theater.
That's pretty cool.
I would like to point out that there are only 52 weekends per year. I did not see it 3 years straight. Straight. Sorry. But
We sound like
I
a
went,
woodpecker.
but yeah, I pretty much, from about age 15 to about age 20, I was a very serious regular at, the Berkeley Theater there watching Rocky Horror. And a lot of it with Rocky Horror, like, again, Rocky Horror falls into that good, bad movie category, because a lot of it's a bad movie. However, a lot of it's the songs. Like,
You can get away with so much more in musical form than you can in a straight, just plain movie. I have this theory that, like, if you want to get away with shit, you need to make a musical.
yeah.
Because if you're singing about something, people mind less, especially if it's really catchy.
Yeah. And, Richard O'Brien could write some catchy tunes.
Yeah, I have the soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of it though, like, especially with the cult movies like Rocky where, people are going every weekend, dressing up, the live cast, all of that is like, I knew so many people who went, and we went every weekend or, close to every weekend. And, you just got to know all these people and, you go to after parties and just continue to hang out with them. And it was kind of one of those things where, it was like a big extended family.
It is the definitive cult
It
movie.
is the definitive cult movie. Yeah.
And it's got Meatloaf in it. Doesn't get better.
Meatloaf for dinner every Saturday night.
Just putting this out there. Stagecoach Theater in Boise is having a run of Rocky Horror.
Oh,
October.
they do that every year.
Well, I'm just saying for this year.
Yeah.
October 10th through November 1st.
Yep.
With 3 midnight showings, one of them being on Halloween.
All right.
Yeah, they've been doing that for ever.
It seems like
For a long time.
Do it once
Yeah.
a year or so.
Yeah, always around Halloween they do it. I've
Yeah, I
always
was
wanted
like-
to go, I just never have.
It was like the second.
I'm just saying, Nerd Effect should go.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
no. I thought
So
we were already talking
I
about
think
that.
yeah, I think we already
I
decided
just
on that.
Mason and I that were discussing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then he pointed out that I'm a Rocky Horror virgin. He was going to embarrass me.
We should try and interview the cast, too, if they would let us.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, the whole yeah,
That'd be a good Halloween episode.
yeah, it would. But anyway, but like Rocky Horror was just one of those things, and like I went once when I was up here. I can't remember. It wasn't at Stagecoach. I don't think. Might have been. I don't remember. But it was like the first or second Halloween I was up here.
Maybe BSU? BSU's theater department?
Well, it was a screening of the movie with a live
Oh.
cast. It was the proper way to watch Rocky Horror. I know that Stagecoach is doing the Rocky Horror show.
Mm-hmm.
Difference is picture show means the movie, Rocky Horror show means the play, the musical play. But really, I think that you should always try to do the picture show with a live cast in front of it nowadays. It's maybe not as true to the medium of theater as just doing it as a live performance is, but tell you what, it's just more of the experience that Rocky Horror became. And there's something about doing it that way that just is more awesome, I think.
They should do it at the Shakespeare Festival.
They do some wacky things there.
Yeah. Seriously do midnight showings with screen, with like, yeah, people who can actually act. That would be pretty cool. Kind of funny. People who can actually act, that means that they might do better than some of the people in Rocky Horror.
They did a fantastic job. I saw Les Mis on Friday, and they got some performers with pipes on them.
Yeah.
I was very.
Wait, you saw
very,
Les Mis on Friday?
Yeah.
That's when Jen was there.
No, she was there Thursday.
Oh, was it Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind.
I like how I know what your wife's doing, and you know.
I thought it was Friday.
No, it was Thursday because she posted it the day before I went, and I went Friday.
All right, well,
So, there.
shows what I know.
So yeah. And I believe you were saying something earlier about how you can get away with a lot more as in a musical format.
Why? Yes,
than-
Mason. Yes,
than
I
you can
was.
if you don't use music.
And in fact, that is the
What-
very
what-
reason I suggested this topic, was just so I could rant about my new favorite movie that you introduced me to. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because segues are easy.
That was a good segue. What are
I
you
know, that's
talking
what I'm
about?
saying. Segues are easy.
Okay. Repo the Genetic Opera, not Repo Man. I haven't seen that. I want to so I can be angry about it like you are.
You should just to be angry
Yeah.
about it.
Repo the Genetic Opera. It has everything. Murder, blood, opera, Anthony Stewart Head,
Ogre from Ogre from Skinny Puppy.
Paris Hilton's face
He's
falling off.
Ogre wearing Paris Hilton's face after it falls off.
I can't remember her name now.
Sarah
Balls-
Brightman?
Yes, thank you. Gouging out her own eyeballs. It's amazing.
Sarah Brightman singing. Just
Yeah, her singing too, but it's if Rocky Horror and Dexter had a musical love baby,
it is
it's
Repo, the
Repo,
Genetic Opera.
and it's Anthony Stewart Head, who anyone who knows Buffy the Vampire Slayer and his Giles, but if you saw Once More of the Feeling, their musical episode, you know he's got pipes. He also sings. It's a little more Muzak-y than what he's done acting wise. His style of music seems like it's geared towards the moms, but he's
okay.
still very good, and it's everyone in that did great. The plot's fantastic. I bought the soundtrack on iTunes because Nikki needed to listen to it on a continuous loop for a week straight. I'm not exaggerating. I've already seen the movie twice, and this was a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have seen it 3 times, but I got sick the night I was going to subject a friend to it, so that didn't happen. But, yeah, it is a glorious, glorious cult film. Everyone needs to see it. It's got fantastic costumes.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
And also it has the, like, one of the things that I find, like, great about Repo is it has enough cheese in the right places.
Oh, yeah.
It has it keeps a very consistent and perfect amount of over-the-topness through the whole thing.
What you would expect from in a good musical.
Yes.
I'm from an orchestra family. I grew up watching musicals. Sound of Music is like the first movie I remember as a kid. And I love musicals. I am a giant musicals nerd. Like, I love musicals more than the average gay man does. Like, it's crazy. Repo made me so happy because it was like grown-up, gory action movie loving Nikki and super, super nerdy musical obsessing Nikki finally got to be friends and agree on something. Like, I'm the kid that listened to the Cats soundtrack on a loop until the tapes wore out. I also suspect my mom might have had some sort of hand in the tapes wearing out because she got tired of hearing it. Thank God for earbuds, because I'm like that with the Rebo soundtrack too. It's just, it's great. And you can get away with so much more in musicals. Like, at one point, he rips this guy's guts out and reaches his arm up inside and uses him like a giant meat puppet. It's all while singing.
Yeah.
And doing like, ventriloquism with the dead guy.
Yeah.
But it's charming because he's singing while he's doing it.
And kind of dancing around with him.
Yeah, and dancing around.
It's a great scene.
You know, he's very much a bad guy, but you root for him because, darn it, he's charming and has a great singing voice and good intentions.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, everything about it.
Can't talk about his good intentions. I'll totally spoil it.
No, I'm not talking about things, but it's great, and everyone should just go fucking watch it. Even if you have to pay money to watch it, if you don't know somebody that has it, just rent it or buy it, because you're going to like it so much you're going to want to watch it again and again and again and again. That's why it's a good cult movie, is because it's got that rewatchability. Yeah. Like, I was down doing laundry. Mike knows the place I'm talking about because we live in the same complex. And Ange thinks people are going to steal our clothes. So I was just hanging out in there while they were getting washed. And I was bored, so I pulled up YouTube videos of Repo the Genetic Opera and was watching them on my phone while I was waiting for my laundry.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, I found the cut scenes that they took out and stuff that's in the soundtrack that's not in the movie. I found the videos for that. Like, it's good. It's just that good. It's amazing. That's the reason I suggested this topic, was so I could just have a little mini Repo rant and high five Mason for introducing me to my favorite movie of all time. Like, I have a disproportionate love for this movie, I feel. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
But I like it so much more than its parts don't add up to how much I love it. But I do anyways, and I'm fine with that.
It is, I would say, it is one of those productions where, the sum is greater than the whole of the parts.
It really is. Everything just comes together, and it's the perfect movie. If you like musicals, and you like gory movies, or you just like movies, go watch Repo.
If you like rock opera.
It is a fucking hardcore rock opera too. Like, the songs stand up on their own.
They do. They really do.
When I invited my friend over to watch it, I sent her a picture of what Zydrate looks like, because she said she'd bring booze. I was like, figure out how to make this. Nice. She's like, I'll be buying some Kool-Aid, because it's blue glowy drug stuff in the movie.
Yeah.
But I wanted a Zydrate cocktail, damn it. So, yeah, I feel better now. Internet, go watch it, please. We should link to one of the videos of one of the songs in the movie so people can watch it.
Mark it down.
Yeah. I
don't remember if that's the actual name of the song.
It is. It is. Wait, I could check in like 30 seconds because I've got it right here on my fucking phone. No, I seriously, the whole soundtrack is on here, and it's in. I just listen to it on its own because I love it. Oh, Maxwell, that makes me sad. Mark It Up.
Mark It Up. That's right. Yes, Mark It Up. That would be a good one if you could find
it's got Ogre and Paris Hilton. And you know, I didn't actually realize that was Paris Hilton for the very, very large part of the movie because her makeup was so substantial and she actually did a decent job.
Yeah.
Like, granted, the character she's playing is basically her.
Yeah.
But it worked. And they were geniuses for casting her in it because she was just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to be the spoiled ditzy brat addict, why not have one?
Yeah, why not just hire the best of the best for ditzy, spoiled brat addicts?
It's like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Let's just be thankful we didn't get Paris Hilton as Iron Man.
Should I jump across the table and hit him?
But I pictured it in my head a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's really funny.
Okay.
Because she's doing that dance with Grave Robber in the Iron Man suit. She does a sexy dance at one part in the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh, that's right, you have.
It's been a long time, though, but
Yeah.
I saw it with Mason and Zach back at my old apartment.
I don't know how I got through so much of my life without seeing this movie. Like, I feel like I've missed out on precious years of just geeking out over this.
Well, it's not that old of a movie.
No, but there's a couple precious years
Yeah.
that I missed out on. But I have it in my life now.
Yes.
I think she's exhausted out now.
I have my rant.
I just been sitting here waiting for your gas tank to empty.
I-
It's like right when I thought you were going to stop, you're like, but seriously, you guys.
Because everybody needs to understand how amazing this movie is, and it's all Mason's fault, so blame him.
But, no! I got like basically like two rolling around in my head right now, and I'm just gonna spit them out. One of them being The Wizard, which also known as a 2-hour Nintendo advertisement.
Yeah.
That one's popped back up in the last few years with people talking about it. It was the first like official reveal of Super Mario Brothers 3. The Power Glove is so bad. Like that's like the most quotable thing in the entire movie. It's so bad. The Power Glove.
So you know, I've never actually seen that one.
Oh
either.
man, it's amazing.
I remember the posters
With
though.
Fred Savage.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the posters.
And then the other one was is definitely the better of the two, but Goonies.
The Goonies is an awesome movie.
Yeah, you guys, like you can't. Anybody says that, you know what? Baby Root. It's like anybody who's start quoting that movie is gonna come right out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But both super memorable. They're supposed to make a direct sequel in the coming years with the remaining original cast. We'll see how that turns out. And the original director.
I hope it's a torch pass.
I like the.
Well, I hope it's like their kids or something.
Yeah, that's
like
what
that.
I mean.
Like
it's
that.
like they're the parents. They make appearances in the movie, and then
Sort of like how the new Star Wars is supposed to be.
The new Star Wars, from the sound of it, J.J. Abrams is trying to put a lot more of
Star Wars back into it.
I heard it was supposed to be like, oh, they're the parents and they just kind of show up.
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that was the original plan. He's trying to put a lot more Luke, Leia, and Han into the movie.
And Han broke his
now.
leg.
I mean, people are like, oh, Han broke his leg. Yeah, Harrison Ford broke his leg. Okay, yeah, he's in his 70s, but people break their legs. I mean...
Harrison Ford's still really badass.
But it was
Yeah.
the door
And he
of the
could
Millennium
kick.
But
Falcon.
yeah, he hurt
Yeah, it's
himself
how
on the
he
Millennium
broke it. That's
Falcon.
really
Yeah.
funny, yeah. He could still kick all four of our asses at once, probably, though.
True.
With his broken leg.
But...
Grabbing it.
Well, yeah, he just pull out a 6-shooter and shoot us. I mean,
Yeah.
you know. But...
Like an Arabian swordsman or something.
Yeah. So...
And then we'd all have monkey brains to celebrate.
Yes.
Yay!
But there's, there's like he's trying to make it. From the sound of it, he wants to make more of it about Luke, Han, and Leia, which I love the characters Luke, Han, and Leia. I grew up with those characters. I mean, I was a Star Wars kid. I mean, I had G.I. Joe, I had Transformers, I had all of that. But end of the day, you said you can only have one. I'd have been all over my Star Wars stuff. But
There's an AT-AT sitting in my parents' garage on top of a cabinet, and I keep trying to talk my brother into giving it to me. He won't do it. But I want it. I want it now.
You should just take it and see how
they
long it takes him
noticed.
to...
It's like sitting out in the garage.
Oh.
Like, it's probably so caked in dust by now, but it's beautiful.
I just take it, see how long it takes them to realize it's gone.
It was the size of our dog growing up. They're gonna notice if it's gone.
It was
like
pretty
they're
big.
big. Yeah. You could fit the action figures inside of it, and it made little choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-choo noises.
Like the little guns actually
Yeah,
recoiled.
the chain guns actually recoiled.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I don't really want more Luke, Han, and Leia. Their story's done.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's
It ended well.
the thing is that the story arc, both the rebellion versus the Empire story arc and the redemption of Anakin story arc are both done. Bitch and complain about like the editing of what's his fuck Anakin.
Oh, Hayden Christensen?
Into episode 6. I agree that was dumb. They shouldn't have done it. But that story arc of the redeeming of the father by the son is over. The rebellion breaking the Empire's back is done. Not that the Empire would have rolled over and just quit all in one day, but the Empire's back was broken and they were going to start losing territory and stuff. Yeah. But it's time to move on to a new story arc, to a new challenge in the universe. And they should let the next generation do that and have that story, that epic cycle that is important in mythology. Like the hero cycle that Luke went through, the redemption cycle that Anakin went through. They should do another one of those big major mythical cycles with having the torch passed from the previous generation's heroes to the next generation's heroes.
Or the lightsaber in this case.
Oh, snap.
Well, yes.
Okay, but let's say what you will about episodes 2 and 3. Because they didn't do the other one.
Episode 1 is useless except for the pod race.
Yeah. Say what you will about
and Ray Park, but
the prequels. You got to admit, we all just geeked out when Darth Vader's helmet got put on, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because that, in and of itself,
no, that first sealing of the helmet.
You're like, oh, it's that scene, guys.
Yeah, that was...
And then the whole theater goes up and giggles because of...
Yeah, and they knew that, making that scene. They were completely aware our obsessive fans are going to just shit bricks over this. Let's make it really cool.
They should have just stopped the movie right there.
They really should have.
The helm seals...
Or only made that
roll
part.
Credits.
Just like a special release onto YouTube. Hey, look, guys, it's Darth Vader becoming Darth Vader. Yay! No shitty movies. But here's a podcast, or a pod racing short film for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's no stupid.
So we went from doing a cult film show to doing a Star Wars show.
Well, they're on the cusp of cult films.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Star Wars kind of occupies a weird place because it's not a cult film anymore. It kind of was.
Yeah.
But now it's not because it's
still
so widely accepted.
It's still gotten a cult following, though. Like,
I would say...
dedicated Star Wars fans are the craziest motherfuckers in the world.
Second craziest.
Well...
There's Star Trek fans.
Yeah, okay. We're the craziest motherfuckers that can pass for normal humans in day-to-day society.
Okay,
I would say Star Wars would have remained cult up until before they made Episode 1. The moment they made Episode 1, it started becoming a major anthology.
I think it would have remained a cult following if they did not do the re-releases of the original 3.
Although, we didn't own Star
saying.
Wars until they re-released it. I only got to see it when I was at somebody else's house, which, granted, I watched a lot of Star Wars as a kid.
Yeah.
We didn't own it until they re-released it, though. So we had to rent it or whatever. And then they re-released it, and my dad got the cool gold box set, and that was, it's raining out, let's pull out the sleeper sofa, make Jiffy Pop, and watch Star Wars.
That sounds like a great evening.
Some of my happiest childhood memories involve stormy nights, Jiffy Pop, and the sleeper sofa, and my dad, my brother, and I just camping out and watching movies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like The Fly. It's kind of a cult
That is
movie.
definitely a cult movie.
The original one.
By next time around, I was going to say basically horror movies in general have a huge cult following.
That's where I got my
Friday the 13th and
love of sci-fi and horror.
Leprechaun.
Was nice. Oh god, Leprechaun's so bad.
It's almost Troll 2.
Aren't they making another one? I think I read they're making another one, yeah.
Yes, they're making another Leprechaun movie, and friggin', if you're a wrestling fan, you'll know, but Hornswoggle is gonna be in it. He's a midget wrestler.
Yay!
And WWE's producing it this time around. So.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of cult followings.
And there you have it.
Yeah. I feel like this could be like an 8-hour podcast.
Oh, good. We could keep rolling forever.
Yeah. I'll say a couple other ones. I was going to say The Fifth Element.
Uh-huh.
I quoted that in the beginning.
I think Mike needs to go. He hasn't gone yet.
Oh.
Well, Fifth Element was going to be my next one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, wait a minute. Go, Mike.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Yeah.
Multi-pass. Okay, we're done. Or chicken. Okay, we're done.
And anything Chris Tucker says.
Death Race 2000.
Awesome movie.
Not the new fucking Death Race that's not Death Race, it's prison inmates racing cars. Fucking Death Race 2000, only on-screen fight between Sylvester Stallone and David Carradine, and it is the most disappointing fight you've ever seen in your life. But there's 70 boobs, there's gimp suits, oh my god.
Mad Max, Thunderdome.
Oh.
I was going to say the whole of the Mad Max
Mad Max.
trilogy. Yeah.
2 men enter, one
man leaves.
What do you think?
Six String Samurai.
I still haven't seen that one.
Me either.
I need to see that one still.
Oh, Ariane borrowed that from me forever ago. I need to get that back, but I own it.
Okay.
It's got the Red Elvises in it.
Nice.
Which is my favorite band. Conveniently enough, as that is their tagline on all of their merchandise. Russian surf rock, basically. The whole premise of Six String Samurai, for those who haven't seen it, is Russia won the Cold War. The last free city is Las Vegas. Elvis got crowned king, and then Elvis died without an heir to the throne, so all of these sword-swinging, guitar-playing people from different genres are making their way across the country to Las Vegas, and the first one there gets to be king, and it follows the journey of this rockabilly guy named Buddy, who's obviously styled after Buddy Holly, who swings a samurai sword, and it's amazing. And the guy that plays Buddy is actually the writer, the director, and the producer. It's one of those movies.
You want to talk about Elvis? Bubba Hotep.
I've never seen Bubba Hotep.
Oh, Bubba Hotep is so delightful.
Okay, cult movies. Anything with Bruce Campbell in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Army of Darkness, oh yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll say all of them.
He was in that zombie documentary I was watching today that I was telling you guys about. Yeah, he officiated a wedding, I guess, at ZomCon, where the people dressed up like zombies, and I guess when they asked him to officiate it, he's like, how is their family going to feel about this? Oh, the family's dressed up like zombies, too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Listen up, you ignorant screwheads!
Then he fires off a boomstick.
Yeah.
This is my boomstick!
Oh, God, what else? I mean, we could do this forever.
Anything by David Lynch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fucking,
I mean, it's not a movie, technically.
help me out. Heroin.
Blue Velvet?
No. Isn't it David Lynch who does the, oh, Jesus, it's got Jared Leto in it.
No.
Jennifer Garner. Not Jennifer Garner, Jennifer,
I can see his brains ready to pop out of his
Yeah,
skull.
no, his head's like pulsating.
I can never remember the name of the movie, like,
I know what movie
Mulholland Drive is another one.
Mulholland Drive is another David Lynch movie.
But, it's, Jesus Christ. Hold on.
I know what movie he's talking about, too, and I'm trying to remember.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
I've actually never seen that one.
Oh my god, it is a musical about a botched sex change operation.
Oh.
That's what the Angry Inch is.
Okay.
6 inches forward and 5 inches back. I got an angry inch. It's amazing.
It's just depressing.
It's really good though. Well, it is kind of depressing. The whole concept is Hedwig was a little boy in Germany before the wall came down and met a soldier who they had a fling, even though Hedwig was like, I think 15 or so. And the soldier said that he'd take Hedwig away if Hedwig got a sex change and he could say that they were married. And then he lost interest in Hedwig.
Oh.
And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that is a fucking mind trip.
Yeah, it is. So is Mulholland Drive. Yeah. Mulholland Drive will...
Anything by David Lynch. Eraserhead.
Silencio. It's like you're like, what? By the end of the movie, you're like, what?
Yeah. Blue Velvet. Even though it's not a movie, Twin Peaks. Of course, there is the movie Fire Walk with Me that goes with it.
It's just weird.
I actually saw an interesting kind of hypothesis on why David Lynch movies are actually so weird. Is he actually exploits the uncanny valley? Mm-hmm. Okay, the uncanny valley is technically from robotics, where as we make robots more anthropomorphic, in other words, more human-like, we start seeing them as cuter and cuter and cuter and cuter and cuter, and then all of a sudden they freak us out. And then after a certain point we accept them again. And that point of freak out is called the uncanny valley. Basically, we go from thinking they're adorable to thinking they're disturbing really quickly.
Like porcelain baby dolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason is that they are so close to being human, but we're starting to see them as human, but our brain's also screaming at us that this is not right. There's something wrong. So if you look at a lot of David Lynch's characters in his movies and his TV show and stuff, everyone's almost a human. But there's something very disturbingly wrong on the inside of every one of them.
Everybody's a little bit fucked up.
Yeah. In a way that makes them not human is the thing. That's the key. Is they are simulacra, practically. So yeah. So I saw that hypothesis and I was looking at it. I was going, you know what? Kind of right, because I was going back through my list of all the David Lynch movies I've seen. Didn't sleep well that night. But yeah, I was like, yeah, they're all almost human. So I thought that was pretty neat.
I would also say pretty much anything by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember that one where they're trapped in the bar with all the vampires.
Oh, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes,
that's
thank
technically
you.
Robert Rodriguez's movie.
Oh, is it?
Technically, but it's presented by...
Sort of like how The Nightmare Before Christmas was presented by Tim Burton.
No, Nightmare Before Christmas was Tim Burton's.
It's a different director, though. He didn't direct it.
Tim Burton rarely directs. He's almost always just
Yeah, but a
producer.
lot of people think that he did.
No,
don't argue Mason with him, Mary.
No, this was an actual thing when Coraline came out. Or not, was it Coraline? No, it was 9? There was a movie that came out that they're like from the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, and a lot of people were like, they're lying, it's not Tim Burton.
But Tim Burton didn't direct
Yeah,
Nightmare
exactly,
Before Christmas.
but a lot of people don't realize that.
Oh, yeah, no,
That
he's
was
almost
my
always
point
just a
thinking.
producer. Well, not just a producer, he's a very hands-on producer.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not the scene director.
Yeah.
Which is what directors
That was the
do.
point I was trying to make, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm not knocking Tim Burton. I wouldn't do that.
There we go, another cult film, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I admit I'm part of the unreasonably large number of people that won't let that damn film go.
Why would you, though?
I wouldn't. I watch it once a year. But I originally
But
listened
you
to
can
watch
watch
it
it
once
twice a year. You can watch it at Halloween and Christmas.
I actually watch it the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, in between.
In between.
Yeah, I like that.
On Black Friday of all days.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a relief when I get home from having to deal
From
with
all the chaos.
From all the chaos of having to work retail on
Now,
Black Fridays.
how do we feel about cult TV shows?
Well,
I think...
That's not part of the show.
Well, but this one kind of walks the line, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Because it was a movie that was super shitty, but got
Yet super awesome.
Yet
because
super awesome.
Yeah.
And then that spawned a TV show that got a cult following. So that one's kind of...
But then we may as well just say all Joss Whedon projects.
Oh, God, yeah.
Except for at this point, Joss Whedon projects are fucking the Avengers. So they're not exactly cult movies anymore.
No.
TV shows, for me, tend to fall more under... God damn it, I guess it's technically
Buffy
the same thing, but like
count,
fandoms...
though.
Like, they tend to be
It's
more...
technically the same thing.
Buffy's a total cult thing, though. As somebody who has always been deeply engrossed in this, I bought Ghost of the Robots CD because that is a band that James Marsters is in, and he was Spike in Buffy. That is why I bought that CD. I'd never heard his fucking band before. But I bought the CD because I liked him in Buffy.
How many people buy soundtracks from movies because they heard
this had nothing to do with Buffy. It was just that he played in this band.
Oh.
And I bought it because I liked him in Buffy. Like, that was the reason.
Oh.
But, I mean, I don't know. I think that counts as a cult media because it just...
Yeah. Oh, no, it does.
Buffy is... all of Joss Whedon's stuff, but Buffy in particular...
Yeah.
I mean,
Buffy and Firefly.
And Firefly is disproportionate to how long it was on.
Oh, it's because it was probably...
Because it was amazing.
Yeah.
I hope Fox executives are just kicking themselves in the ass over that.
They should be.
Yeah. But Buffy is one of those things that, for me, I will always be completely obsessed with. Like, it hasn't been on since I graduated high school. And I can still, like, sit down on Netflix and watch it all the way through and not get bored. And I've seen all the episodes at least 5 times.
Yeah.
And it's, like, when you meet... It's... To me, part of what makes something a cult thing is when you meet other people who like this thing, you get super fucking excited and you're instantly friends, which does fall into the fandoms a bit too. But I feel like in cult things, it's magnified.
Yeah, and the more obscure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Buffy's one of those things.
Buffy walks the line really tight, though, between fandom and cult. It's like right in...
I think there's actually 2 separate things. I think there's the cult following of Buffy and then there's the fandom following.
Okay.
I think.
What would you think the difference is?
I think the cult following is more obsessed with it. I think it's as simple as that. Because, like, there's people who are like, oh, I've watched all of Buffy. And there's people that are like, oh, I've watched all of Buffy. I own 3 of the soundtracks. I'm totally not describing myself right now. I bought different works that the people in this participated on just because they participated in this.
Well, see, to me, that's like hardcore fandom.
See?
Yeah, see, that's... Yeah.
It's walking the line to me.
Well, to me, it walks the line not in that way, but its popularity level is really close to like an explosively large fandom.
Towards the end it was, yeah.
But it's also not... But, you know, so it's like it's pushing out of cult into pop culture fandom.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when you talk about like a lot of the cult stuff, it's still smaller.
I think the reason why I
like,
feel like that about it is because when I watched it... When it was on, it didn't feel as big as it does now.
I would say part of that is, I think, that back when you watched it, it didn't feel as big. Because even though the internet existed, like, there wasn't the same large expression of fandom on the internet that there is nowadays.
That's true.
I mean, granted, there were web rings that were...
Oh, and I did my fucking Bunny the Vampire Slayer rabbit fan art of Buffy. Yeah, okay, I guess you're right. I guess that is more of a fandom. I just didn't view it that way because when I went into it, it seemed small.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's always something we can pick up later, too. Animation films, Akira, Ghost in the Shell.
Akira, Ghost in the Shell.
The animation show.
Is that the Godzilla versus Bambi?
No.
Shortest movie, I think, in existence.
Awesome.
But
the animation show was started by Mike Judd.
Cap Soup.
They've got...
That doesn't have a cult following, does it?
A collection of short animated films by people all over the world. I saw it when it came out in the flicks, and it was one of those things where you could just see it the one time, and even if you bought it, it didn't have the same films in it as it did in the theater.
Right. So
the only way you could see all of it was to go see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying the poster off the movie theater so that I could have it at my house because I liked it so much. That one's really good. I don't know if that's something that they still play places, but they should.
Yeah, I don't know, actually, if they do or not. But, I was like, and then there are certain, like, well, in anime, for example, there's anime fandom, which I know people like different animes, but I kind of consider anime fandom its own one thing. And I'm probably going to get ripped apart for saying that.
Anime fandom seems to revolve a lot more around shows, like actual series.
Yeah.
Whereas the movies themselves tend to be more cult.
Right, and then there's like
Princess Mononoke and stuff like that.
Anything by Studio Ghibli, which all have a huge Studio Ghibli following, because pretty much if you like one of them, you're going to like them all.
Did you hear they're making a TV show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which confused me because.
Well, he said that was his last full-length movie.
Yeah.
Which, when he said that, I was like, something's in the works.
But Akira, like especially Akira, I still feel that I'm lucky because I actually got to see Akira in a theater.
Nice.
You guys see it in the theater?
Yeah, I was at
You know,
Berkeley.
I can. This is how I know it's cult. The first time I ever saw Akira, I was introduced to it by my buddy Andy in junior high school, and I rented it from the public library on VHS.
Nice.
That's how like underground it was at the time. You know, it's just like.
How do you guys think that the internet has changed cult followings of things? Like, I feel kind of bad because we're sitting here talking about, oh, I gotta see this thing in the theater, and that was the only way you could see it, and I feel like that kind of makes the things more special, and nowadays it's like, oh, I looked it up on YouTube.
That's
or I torrented a copy of it
or whatever,
Like, no, I feel like part of the experience is having to seek it out.
That is part, that, or at least that was part of the experience. And, like, because, like, for me, for example, with Rocky Horror, it was an effort to go to Rocky. Yeah. Because, like I said, I went practically every Saturday night for 5 years. Mm. And I had to go to a town 40 minutes away without a guarantee of a ride home at 3 a.m.
Six String Samurai, I had been hearing mutterings of from my artsy friends for years. And the only way I was able to watch it, because not even the Flicks rental, that's our local sort of indie theater that also has a video rental place in it, for those of you who aren't local.
Wait, what place?
The Flicks.
It has a video rental place?
Yeah.
Yes. I think they still have VHSs there.
They do. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of really good foreign films there.
I know the Real Theater and the Flicks downtown.
Yeah, by where Galaxy used to be. But they didn't even have Six String Samurai. They'd never heard of it. The only way I could see it, it was the very first thing I ever bought online, was a copy of the DVD. That was the only way I could see Six String Samurai, because there's no place in town that had it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to go see it at the theater necessarily, but I had to seek it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, also, well, part of that was like, even though like I lived 40 minutes from Berkeley, that was, it was I had to either bus and BART out there or go with a friend who had a car.
Oh, the BART.
Yep.
I love the BART.
BART is awesome.
I don't know what the BART is.
Bay Area Rapid Transit System. It's
okay.
Subway for the
San
most of the Bay Area.
I think I have a token from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
They don't set the tokens anymore.
No, I would imagine not. Yeah.
But like, that was one of the advantages of living in the San Francisco Bay Area, was that if there was something weird and esoteric that you wanted to find, you could.
Mm-hmm. Go to Chinatown, you'll find some shit.
Well, it's not even that.
Just don't feed it after midnight.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk about some...
Oh, that's a cult film right there.
I know, that's why I said it.
Gremlins, I love it.
Well, if you guys want to talk about effort to go see a movie, when they had Blade Runner Director's Cut in the theater, so got on my bicycle to ride down to the theater to go watch it. I got hit by a car on the way.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just kind of like rolled off the bike and didn't get scratched up or anything, so I was like, okay, fine, I'm good. Got on the bike, started pedaling, noticed there was a pain in my ankle.
God.
By the time I got to the theater, my ankle started swelling up. Rather than doing the thing that most people would do and go get their ankle checked out, I went into the theater, took my shoe off, put my foot up, and watched the movie.
And then had to ride
By
your
the
bike
time
home
I got
afterwards.
out of there, I couldn't put weight on my ankle.
Oh, God, buddy.
By the time I got, managed to get home on the bike and everything, and we ended up going to emergency room, got x-rays done. I severed the ligaments in my ankle.
But you made your movie
But
showing, damn it.
I went to the movie, damn it.
Okay, I'm not that dedicated to
No,
anything.
that's pretty hardcore. Although if I had the opportunity to see Repo in a theater, I might tough that.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know about the director's cut now, did you regret it?
Nope.
Okay.
That's
I was just
the
curious.
director's cut. I think it was almost an hour's worth of material.
Oh, it was the uber long second director's cut.
It was the theater release one.
Okay, that was the uber second long one.
So basically, I mean, it was like almost a full hour's worth of.
It's like a 3-hour movie or something.
Yeah.
2.5-ish, yeah.
So I mean, it was just all the film in there, without the voiceovers. But I've seen it before, so yeah.
You're insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know for a while they actually had a Blade Runner Ultimate Edition or something like that. I don't know. It was like, there was like many words saying final and best possible, all, in there together. And it was on a Blu-ray, but it was the original cut, the original theater release cut, and all of the director's cut Ridley Scott had ever done, plus a new director's cut that he did specifically for that Blu-ray.
How many director's cuts do you need? All of them, clearly.
All of them.
Yeah.
I want to bring up The Room.
I've seen it.
Horribly bad. Horribly bad. Like horribly bad to Blad. Jesus, why can I? Horribly bad.
Glad.
To the point where the first
So
time
you have to invent new words to describe it.
Where the first time I saw it, I swear to God, I was watching a really, really bad softcore porn. Because there's like a really awkward sex scene in it that you're just like, what is going on right now? And the director and writer of it is, oh shit, why did I blink on his name? You're tearing us apart, Lisa. I can't remember his name now. I told you the name earlier.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember now.
Before we recorded, and I'm sure the internet is screaming at me. Oh my God. I'll figure it out.
Google
But
The Room.
anyway,
It'll come up.
it became a cult following, especially after, that guy with the glasses did a review of it. Like, it's always had a cult following, but then, the guys over at, that guy with the glasses, the nostalgia critic, decided to do Tommy Wiseau.
Oh.
So Tommy Wiseau did a review of it, and it was the most hilarious thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, he's already funny to begin with, but this specific review that he did just was mind bending. I was like, I have to watch this movie again. I haven't yet, but I will, and I'm just gonna sit there and watch in amazement and awe at how horribly it's done. Yeah.
I almost forgot to mention one. Mirror Mask. Have you guys seen this?
I have seen Mirror Mask.
Mirror Mask is awesome.
I love it. It was
Been a long
made,
time, though.
for those who don't know, I used to own it, and I don't know what happened to my copy, but I was trying to talk to Ange about it, thinking for some reason that I'd owned it while I've known her, and I haven't, which means it's time for Nikki to go buy a new copy.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, this was written by Neil Gaiman, because he's
That would be
awesome.
why I liked it so much,
yes,
probably.
Yes, it would. And it was made to go in a box set with The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. I don't know if they ever actually released that.
Also
Never did.
cult films.
Yeah, but that was the idea. And I don't even remember the plot, but it is just crazy, trippy awesomeness.
Yeah. The thing I remember most about Mirror Mask is just the visuals.
Yeah, because it was all CG, and it wasn't necessarily high-quality CG, but the character designs were very
Right. It was, what was the character designs?
It was quality for the time, I guess.
Well, also, I don't think it was. I think it was,
I don't remember when it came out.
I think they were doing with Mirror Mask was they were specifically giving it stylization with the CG.
Oh, because she went to the world of her drawings.
Right.
Okay, I remember now. God,
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it too. We should find a copy and watch it
We
again.
really should.
Yay, Nerd Effect review time.
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie until like a week ago. And then we were watching something else, and the title sequence reminded me of the title sequence from Mirror Mask.
Okay.
And I was like, oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot believe I forgot about it. But that's one of those obscure movies that you don't really know about unless you know somebody who knows about it.
Yeah. And you have to be a Neil Gaiman fan.
Oh,
usually
God,
to know
yes.
about it.
Yeah, that was part of my I need to collect all of the things that he's ever worked on collections. I don't know what happened to that. I feel like I lent it out and never saw it again.
Say another one that less and less people have been seeing nowadays, which is a shame. Well, actually, two of them. I'm just gonna real quick. Buckaroo Banzai.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Look it
I
up.
watched the shit out of that when I was a kid.
Yeah, look it up. It would
Sounds
not.
like a cartoon I'd watch on Saturday
Yeah.
mornings.
Laugh
It's
away,
a-
kind of monkey boy.
It's it's Buckaroo Banzai. There's
But anything by Mel Brooks.
Yeah, anything by Mel Brooks is also probably a good cult movie. I didn't know she was Jewish.
Or the longest fart joke ever made.
Yes. Yeah. Where are all the white women at? A line that could not be in a movie made nowadays.
No. Isn't
or anything
so funny?
except by Mel Brooks, I'm sure.
Isn't it funny the stuff that kids watched in like the 80s and 90s? Like I'd never seen Christmas Vacation.
Oh, National Lampoons?
Yeah, I'd never seen any National Lampoon movies before. And I was over at Angela's family's house over the holidays, and they were watching Christmas Vacation. And I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, I remember my friends watching this when I was very, very young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of fucked up and not something that people would take their children to see now.
No, nowadays...
You would not get away with whatever rating they gave that movie
At the time, that movie was like a family movie.
Yeah.
Like, you'd watch that at Christmas with all your kids.
Yeah, that's why they were watching it. Is that's how they got that tradition started when they went and saw it.
And
and now they watch it every
nowadays
year.
You couldn't get a National Lampoon's movie in a theater.
Isn't that so funny? Like, the stuff that... Like, we think, because action movies are getting more violent, we think that movies are getting worse now.
No, they're not.
Well,
they're not.
And directors are so afraid to, like, grade anything above a PG-13 because anything above an R generally doesn't make
I don't even
enough
think it's
money
that.
to...
I think we're so PC now that the things that are considered risky and, cutting edge and, or edgy, are very different than what they were back then, where everyone's like, oh, everybody kind of gets along pretty well, so we have to really try to offend people, and they did.
Yeah. Well, that and, like, comedians nowadays... Like, as edgy as comedians try to seem nowadays...
Yeah, they're not.
They're not Richard Pryor. They are not, George Carlin. They are not old Eddie Murphy. They are not...
Chris Rock is a good one.
Yeah.
He annoys me.
I'm trying to remember his name. I don't believe I forgot it.
Also an actor, plays banjo.
No.
His stuff's actually surprisingly edgy.
I was thinking...
Steve Martin?
Yeah.
Yes, old Steve
Old
Martin.
Steve Martin was really edgy.
Yeah, but, Man on the Moon was the movie made about him.
Fuck. Dustin, Google.
Lord. Hold up.
Google.
Google is our friend tonight.
Yeah.
IMDb has been my friend tonight.
Yeah.
And the Moon. Andy Kaufman.
Thank you.
Like, Andy Kaufman would be fucking lynched if he tried to go to the Improv now. Mm-hmm. Like, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Because of how but like a lot of these guys, like the only one who didn't calm down was Carlin before he died. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, the thing is now, Louis C.K. is as close as we have.
And when you're talking about,
and he's not as edgy. He's nowhere near as edgy as those guys
he's kind of morose if you compare him to old comedians. Like he's just kind of like a whiny, mopey, says shit.
But it's his shtick.
Oh no, it is. But that's edgy now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he is the edgy comedian nowadays.
Yeah,
he would have been really kind of run of the mill, middle of the road back in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. Like comedy and like what you can get away with in movies has gone downhill.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like society is becoming more accepting of people, but we can't poke fun as much at anything, including yourself.
And it's not even just that. Like, I think a lot of it comes from like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, if you went outside to play, you'd disappear for hours. When the sun started going down, you'd go home for dinner.
Yeah.
Now, I can't imagine anyone that lets their kid play unsupervised in their unfenced front yard.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of it also comes from the fact that we're more sheltering to our youth, which means they can tolerate less.
Yeah.
So tolerances have gone down.
Yeah. And like also,
like we were in the playground and they had padded, like cushy, bouncy ground.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, we were lucky if we had wood chips.
Yeah.
You'd get 3-inch splinters, but it was better than road rash.
Yeah.
Don't forget the baking hot metal slides.
Oh yeah, baking hot metal slides.
Those do not exist anymore.
No.
Nope. Camel's back is gone.
No wonder kids are wusses now and can't tolerate things in movies.
Camel's back was known for its 40-foot long metal
you
tube slide that you would leave.
You don't go there after 11 in the morning or you will have a singed ass.
Yeah, you'll leave at least 3 layers of skin on the inside of that tube.
Yep. Climbing up it was the safer route.
Although I remember remember going to the plastic ones in the middle of the night, and you can see all the static electricity as you go down it. Yeah, that was fun.
We used to go to playgrounds after dark. That was cool.
Anyway. And I would say the other one that people should go see, they have not seen it, and I'm going to leave it without comment. Like, you just need to go watch it, is Brazil.
I've heard of it.
I have not.
I don't know what it is.
You guys just need to see it.
We'll try to find a copy of it.
We can't say
when
why.
When people say things like that
it's
makes me nervous.
Don't be nervous about it. It's the thing is, if you try to explain it, the explanation isn't quite right, and it's not.
I gotcha. Words don't do justice.
The words don't do justice. That's why I want to leave it without comment.
Shall we?
But Brazil, it's another cult classic movie that you have to go see. That and Buckaroo Banzai.
Shall we end it on that mystery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did anybody have any last minute ones? Just wanted to spit out.
Peru and Buckaroo Banzai, Brazil, and Buckaroo Banzai. I agree. Go see them. Just do it. We'll hunt you down. We'll find you. Just go do it.
Mike turned into Nike there for a second.
Okay.
Do it.
At the top of the show, I did put out a thing on my Facebook page to see if anybody would respond to it, and holy mother of fuck.
Okay.
Did they ever? All I put in my status was recording our podcast, going over cult films. List your favorites. Go. And they did.
Oh, yeah.
So, who and what?
Emily Hawley, who was actually just here in the office with us a few minutes ago, says, I heard someone say Goonies. Ditto. Mike Dodd, my boy, Mike. And by the way, to Mike Dodd, heal quickly, man. Because he took a pretty nasty spill at Con Bravo over the weekend and tore a bunch of ligaments in his knee.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Get better,
so yeah, get better, man. He mentioned Street Fighter, which it has a huge gamer cult following, if anything.
It does.
Because Guile or
Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is anything.
And Raul Julia as M. Bison.
Oh man, of course! That's got a cult following too. Because of the nostalgia critic, that one scene, just for him going, of course.
God, I was the biggest Jean-Claude Van Damme fan.
Jessie Havey mentions 2. She says Six String Samurai.
That's damn right, Six String Samurai.
And she also mentions the original Evil Dead. Paul Vincent Hughes says The Thing. He says it with a question mark.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would say
I
it
actually did watch that recently. It was on one of the non-cable that show old movies.
I love The Thing because it was a great example of why practical effects could still be used today.
Oh yeah,
if they used them more often.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm a firm believer in if you can make a practical effect, do a practical effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, then resort to CG. Do not crutch yourself and use CG all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think too many filmmakers have become dependent on it.
It's easy to make something look good if you're telling the computer to do it.
Right, but like...
It takes way more talent to
it blew me away.
things.
Like, one of the things that blew me away, even though it's, been quite a few years for this movie now, is... Do you remember in the original Harry Potter movie where they go into the Great Hall for the first time, all the candles are floating above the table? The candles are all practical effects.
Yeah. You can tell when they switch to CG for those towards the end.
Well, it's because they had them flying around too. But I think they were all just hovering, right?
Yeah. But
it was impressive.
It was impressive that they actually did it as a practical.
I think it's more impressive if you can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
IRL.
Yeah.
IRL. Put it in internet terms. Internet acronyms. Heather Bowers, our good buddy. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Thank you, Heather.
Cami Pavesic. I'm not quite sure how to say her last name, but she's one of the directors for the Add the 4 Words.
Oh, okay.
Add the Words campaign. She mentions Gothic. I've never seen Gothic, but I feel like I've seen the name pop up and just have never watched it.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but it's been so long I don't remember much, like anything about it. But the name sounds really familiar.
Yeah. Here, let's IMDb it real quick. Next on the list was Hackers from Mike Dodd.
Oh,
Hackers.
how can we forget Hackers?
Oh,
we quote that so much.
I watched it 4 days ago.
I still have the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is awesome.
Angelina Jolie was so hot in that movie, you guys.
Yes, she was.
Oh my god.
Thigh highs and a mini kimono.
She just, yeah.
Gothic is a movie from 1986. It's only rated 5.5 stars out of 10 on IMDb, but it's the story of the night that Mary Shelley gave birth to the horror classic Frankenstein.
Yes.
Oh.
That's right.
Interesting.
Disturbed, drug-induced games are played, and
yes.
ghost stories are told on a rainy night.
I remember that now.
I think I've seen that one, actually.
Let's see, what else here? We have...
Hackers. I feel like we failed the internet for getting hackers.
Especially for getting hackers.
Wait till you
Yeah.
get wait till we get to the one that my father-in-law mentions, because I'm going to
man.
punch myself in the nuts for not mentioning it.
Ow.
Pamela.
I gotta wait to see this.
Leave the microphone on when you do that. We want to record the noise you make.
Get
Yeah.
the camera ready.
Yeah. The squeakiest thing you ever heard.
Pamela Clayton
Pamela.
mentions Clerks. Michelle Misha Miller mentions Fight Club and Pulp Fiction.
Well, we covered
We didn't cover Fight Club.
Fight Club, but we covered Tarantino's.
Yeah.
Fight Club. I guess it is a cult movie. I
First
think
time
of
you
it.
see it, it's a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's only good like once, really. But I mean, it's still a fun movie in a lot of ways. Like, you know, selling old ladies' fat back to them as soap. I do find that amusing.
Oh yeah.
But I always saw it as a more popular movie than I guess it probably really was.
No, it was a pretty popular movie. I didn't see it for a really long time,
Okay.
and I'd been hearing about it I could quote it before I saw it because everyone talking about
Now,
it.
see, another movie I would throw into that same category, the way you described it, would be Showgirls. Because it was like the first NC-17 movie to hit theaters.
And it was utterly terrible.
It was terrible, but it had a cult following because of
How terrible.
how terrible it was. But it was also super popular when it was released.
Yeah, a lot of people went to see it simply because of the rating.
Because, yeah. Demi Moore's boobies. Moving on.
The Reese V and me. All right. Never mind.
Just saying, Bruce Willis hit that.
Mm-hmm. Don't blame me, Bruce. Don't blame you.
And so did Ashton Kutcher, which is really weird.
Creepy
Rob in the
to think
Cradle.
about, yeah.
Christopher Powell, Army of Darkness. Gabe Kelly, he's known for some really obscure shit, so here we go. Sergeant Kabuki Man.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, me
Never
either.
heard of it.
Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD is what it's the full title. And Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Alrighty, we have been out obscured.
We've been
Yeah.
out culted here. I love you, Gabe, but holy crap, I'm gonna have to dig deep for those. I've never understood it. I hope if he's listening, I totally apologize. I'm gonna butcher your name here real quick, but his first name is Bethiel, Beathil. He puts in the Nemesis, which apparently is a
Oh, that's a good
cyberpunk
one.
movie of some sort.
Yes.
Yeah.
All he did was
if you saw
all he did
the
was put in
poster-
quotes "fucking cyborgs."
If you saw the poster, you'd recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he put the trailer in the comments.
Oh,
so,
nice. Good for
Oh.
him.
Another one, Equilibrium.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
Yes. Matrix. The first Matrix you could probably put in there.
Not anymore.
Not
When it came
anymore,
out.
but when it came out, you could probably put it in there.
Yeah. Matrix Trivia. It was the first movie released on DVD.
Really?
I remember that.
Interesting.
I remember they
I
were
feel like that was a
now on
thing,
DVD,
yeah.
and we're like, what are they talking about? What's wrong with their tapes?
The first movie I ever bought on DVD, The Crow, also a cult flick.
Oh, yeah.
The Crow.
Aw, that's so sad.
The first movie I ever bought on DVD was The Crow.
I haven't watched that yet this year. I should fix that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should wait till Halloween to fix that.
Yes. I'm inviting myself over to watch The Crow with you, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
This Halloween's going to be busy with movies.
Yes, it is. It
should
always
be.
is.
I have a really big TV
We'll go to your house.
and a sound bar.
My buddy Pun, Jonathan Pun McReynolds, Pecker. It's a comedy from the 90s. It's pretty interesting.
Sounds really familiar.
I can't remember who's in it though. I want to say John Leguizamo. I know he was in The Pest.
We did mention Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, right?
Before the show we did.
Damn it! Okay, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
It has Edward Furlong and Christina Ricci in it. It looks like a kind of like maybe a college comedy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed that one too.
Oh, that's definitely a cult flick.
We just lost our...
Dude, there's just too many to list,
Film
okay?
cards.
Give us some credit.
There's just too many.
And we didn't actually make lists in our...
No, we didn't. We just,
Yeah.
this is all ad-lib.
The one I wanted to mention that you said was on one of your lists you found online, The Point, which I don't think any of you have seen, and it's narrated by Ringo Starr. It's got music in it by Harry Nilsson. It's amazing. It's an animated movie from the late 70s, and it is trippy as balls.
Because all animation from the late 70s.
Yeah,
trippy as
there's
balls.
this part with these giant bouncing fat ladies. I grew up watching it, so to me it was normal. Didn't watch it for years, watched it as an adult. Holy shit. It's just an acid trip. But that one's really good.
Okay.
Ooh, speaking of cult film acid trips, sorry, Star Wars Christmas Special.
Ah!
Yeah.
Which unfortunately has a cult following. Yeah,
And I have unfortunately paid money to watch it.
Yes.
I know. We covered it, but that was a different show very long ago. 7 months ago.
Was it? It wasn't that long.
Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there might even be
Time
people
flies.
listening
You realize
to this.
you've almost been doing this for a year in September?
Well, I haven't.
Oh my God.
You guys have.
Don't.
There might even
Dustin and I have.
You
Yeah.
guys have, yeah.
there might even be people listening to this who haven't heard that show. So
Yeah.
So go back and listen to it.
yeah, yeah,
We have a whole library.
we do. It's crazy.
Or as rednecks like to call it, library. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Or as we have to
Now-
call it, Boise? Library.
Boise. Sorry, that's been bothering.
Oh
me.
yeah, library!
Because it has an exclamation point, so you must say it with emphasis.
It's
Yes.
true. Our library has an that done.
Exclamation point.
Me no talk good.
Straight line dot.
I know in Terabang.
Yay!
For Interabangs.
You don't get to mention them often enough.
No.
No.
Google and Terabang. It's the greatest punctuation mark ever. I used to know how to make it on my keyboard, but now I just copy and paste it.
You could make an
Google's.
entire porno movie called Interrobang where it's just nothing but different
Kinda
people
like in
dressed as
blurred lines or word crimes, how they've got like the
Yeah,
exclamation
yeah.
point and stuff rocking out.
just having a semicolon going at it with a period or something. I don't know.
Nobody wants to do it with the period.
No.
No.
There's a really bad joke there that
That's
none of
what
us
I
should
was
really
making.
touch.
That's as close as I was getting to it.
My father-in-law mentions...
Would that be the point of it?
High five.
Hey! My father-in-law mentions 3 here, 2 of which I am really sad that I did not bring up. First one is Office Space. Did come up.
We're good there.
brought
We're
it
good
back.
there.
The other 2, Princess Bride,
Oh,
which is like the cult fucking...
we didn't
Movie.
say anything Mel Brooks,
Yeah.
so that was kind of covered. We just didn't mention it specifically.
and fucking Big Lebowski.
Oh,
I'm actually rather surprised, especially you did not
I know.
mention Lebowski.
I know. I brought Lebowski up several times on this podcast.
Yes.
But not in the cult flick. To Scott, thank you for covering my ass.
yeah, now I keep thinking of
Inadvertently.
other Mel Brooks films that are fucking Spaceballs. I tried rewatching that the other day. It was kind of painful.
Spaceballs doesn't actually not hold up that well.
I'm really disappointed because when I was a kid, that was my favorite fucking movie because I love Mel Brooks films and I loved Star Wars. Therefore, Spaceballs equals Amazeballs.
Right.
Less now.
Yeah, it does not hold up very well, actually.
Keep firing, assholes.
Well, yeah, a lot of the jokes in it were very pop culture-y.
Yeah.
Like, it was very tied to that time period, and most of that is not relevant anymore.
No.
I was just
I do like them going and renting the VHS tape part, though.
Oh, yeah, and how everything was Darth Helmet toilet paper, Darth Helmet
Yeah.
bath towels,
It was Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was great.
Spaceballs for the win.
Merchandise.
And then the comedic chest burster right at the end of the movie. Which will always be.
I will remember it fondly forever, but I will never try watching it again.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Gabe Kelly also comes back. He's a big kung fu flick guy. He says, to be completely honest, I could rattle off about maybe 30 kung fu flicks that would fit on this list. So I'm not going to. But I will add Cube, Night of the Creeps, and Jacob's Ladder to the list.
I haven't seen any of
Jacob's
those.
Ladder.
Ladder was.
I haven't thought about that movie in years.
Kung Fu movies, though, man, we didn't mention any of that shit. Can we just say anything with
Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Jet Li?
Or fuck, we were just
Michelle
talking
Yeoh?
about him. No,
Oh.
it's a French dude, Canadian dude.
Jean-Claude Van
Thank
Damme.
you, Jesus.
Isn't he Belgian?
Is he?
Yeah, it's like Belgian.
I don't
Brussels
know.
from Brussels.
His name's
Yeah.
French. I don't know. But anything with him in it, fucking Universal Soldier.
Yeah. Kickboxer, Bloodsport.
Oh God, Bloodsport. Jackie Chan, yeah. Big Trouble in Little China. This is
Super
another
Cop.
good one.
Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx.
Drunken Master.
What's the one that's got the same guy as Big Trouble in Little China in it? Romancing
Kurt
the
Russell.
Stone. Seen that one?
Yeah. I wouldn't call that a cult movie.
No. Maybe it's just because my mom's obsessed with it that I feel like it's one.
I would say, Romancing the Stone was a really big hit when it came out.
No, yeah.
So.
Rumble in the Bronx is so great. I had the poster for that in my room as a kid.
I like how in Rumble in the Bronx he actually broke his foot. They went to the hospital, put a cast on it, and then put a sock over it and drew a shoe on the sock, and he kept shooting.
That was the first real Jackie Chan movie I ever saw. I'm actually a huge Jackie Chan fan. And, yeah, that's the one that got me hooked.
Yeah.
He's a great karaoke singer.
I like him in everything I've ever seen him in, actually. Even the shitty movies, like the kids' movies that he's done.
He's
just good at what
Jackie
he does.
Chan is a great entertainer.
And he's lovable.
Yeah.
He's just an adorable guy.
Yeah. However, there was one time, he was, granted, he's from China, which China is not as socially progressive as America. Actually, pretty much all of Asia isn't. We'll just put it out there. Yes, I'm including my beloved Korea in that too. But Jackie Chan says women shouldn't do kung fu, except Michelle Yeoh. Don't tell Michelle Yeoh I said that, or she might kick my butt. But he's like, no, women shouldn't do kung fu, and then he just makes the exception for Michelle Yeoh. But he is kind of, recognize the flaws of your of other people you love too. And the thing is, it's not a huge flaw in his case.
It's a cultural.
It's very much a
point of
cultural
view.
point of view.
Which is weird because I've heard this could just be movie magic or movie words, but that wushu was developed by a woman.
There's a lot of debate about the origin of wushu. What can really be known about it is it shows up with some regularity during the 20s and becomes really popular by the 40s. The person who's credited with really causing a widespread notice of wushu is Ip Man.
I fucking love Ip Man. I've seen all three. There was 1, 2, and then there was a prequel.
Right.
That didn't have Donnie Yen in it, but
Ip Man was actually a real person those movies are based off of.
Well, it was Bruce Lee's master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the one who first popularized wushu.
Well, when you go around
Or not
leveling
wushu,
people
but-
with it, it's
Yeah.
gonna get some notice.
Yeah. So, he,
We should just do a whole show on Kung Fu.
Totally should.
We could.
yeah. But yeah, he was the one who popularized, actually it's not wushu, it's wushu's actually the generic term for what we call kung fu.
I know what you're saying.
But the other
it didn't sound right to me either.
But the other martial art, because I have a friend who does it, and I can't remember the name of it.
That was something. Win something.
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun, yes.
Everybody
Thanks,
Wing
Mike.
Chun tonight.
No, it's like Wing Chun.
I know,
Wing
but
Chun.
that was what popped into my head because
Seriously? Never mind. Borderlands reference there, people. Seriously? Are we really doing this? But yeah, Wing Chun is the martial art that he taught Bruce Lee originally, and he was the one that popularized it. It might have been invented by a woman. We don't know. That is the legend. And it's old enough to where it will probably always be a legend at this point. So, yeah.
Yay.
Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Kelly Bain comes in and says, Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah.
And then she says, people love to hate that movie. Not sure why.
You have to watch it a few times to love it, I think.
Yeah.
I liked Donnie Darko back when it came out. And I have to say, I went back to try to watch it again. Was not really into it.
I think you have to be in the right age group when you see it.
Donnie Darko is an age group specific movie.
Yeah.
When you go back and watch it as an adult afterward, you're like, what? What did I like?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be in your angsty teenager phase, basically, to like Donnie Darko.
Or fondly remembering it as an adult.
Yes. But don't try to watch it again as an adult.
There's conversation that starts to happen shortly after this point, so I'm going to try and filter through some of it. My father-in-law comes back again and says, speaking of Kung Fu flicks, I have to mention Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, that one's really
Kung
good.
Fu Hustle
yeah.
was actually really good.
Which on, I quickly responded and said, and Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah.
Gabe Kelly, he comes back again, says, I would have gone with God of Cookery myself for a Stephen Chow pick. He put the trailer on here, and if it's from
what you're talking
if
about.
it's from Stephen Chow, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to connect the lines. I'll get to it. Bethany Levin comes back after he watched the trailer and says, the fuck did I just watch? Cliff Neely, a good buddy of mine I went to high school with, says, Lebowski for sure, Office Space, Sandlot, Pulp Fiction, Mallrats, Robin Hood Men in Tights. The list is endless.
And another one I don't believe I didn't mention.
What?
Yeah. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I was going to say,
also,
well, we said Mel Brooks.
True. Yeah, we did say Mel Brooks.
And that's my favorite Mel Brooks movie. It was Robin Hood Men in Tights for sure.
Yeah.
See, I still say Spaceballs is mine, even though it's not anymore. Like, if you weigh how much I've loved various Mel Brooks movies, that's the one that
You still loved it the most.
I loved it the most,
I also believe Cliff was a part of the group of guys at
I was
the
just
high school
gonna bring
talent
that
show
up, yeah.
who did the We're Men.
There was like a bunch
We're
of
Men in Tights.
Tights.
And Danny,
guys that did that, yeah.
Danny played the blind. He played Blinken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the one that was
No, I
always
totally
getting
remember
punched.
that because that was before I actually knew anyone at Boise High, and it was like my first year of the talent show.
Yeah, they did it. They
and
did
I was
it.
like, what is going on?
They did it at our junior high talent show and our senior year as a kind of. I think they must have did it as a throwback, but it was. That performance is amazing. They get up there in
They
just the
did a
white
really good
t-shirts
job.
and
Tights.
green tights,
Yep.
and just perform the dance, and it is phenomenal.
In the Boise High Auditorium, which is a very classy venue.
Oh, I'm sure.
Cliff, if you listen to this, you guys need to get a reunion going and
Oh my gosh, that'd
redo
be
that
so
because that
funny.
was amazing.
I remember it, and I didn't even know you guys. Yeah.
Let's see here. He also comes out and says Army of Darkness, Evil Dead. Conversation comes back in. Going back to the God of Cookery, it says she's a judge at a cooking contest. She dances to distract those chefs just for the sole purpose of eliminating competition so that the people who paid her off can win. And the part with her rolling on meat while she's eating some of Stephen Chow's character's food made for the competition. And since he's the hero, it blows the villain away and essentially makes her freak out like that. Well, I just read that for nothing. Okay. I'll try and skip conversation from here on out.
Yeah.
My buddy John Hutton, Big Lebowski is my favorite. But if I'm going to throw one in there that hasn't been named yet, how about Young Frankenstein?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
That
Mel
is
Brooks.
my Uncle Phil's favorite
It's
movie
Frankenstein.
Ah, somebody mentioned it. You'll be happy. Okay, so there's Plan 9 from Outer Space, Troll 2,
ever. Ha!
and Dune. That seems like popular sci-fi to me.
Now, the people who like the original Dune movie don't even necessarily like Dune, is the thing. They like that weird craziness that was the first movie that is very little to actually do with the book. I'm surprised there were worms in it. I'm a big fan of Dune, starting with the book.
Which I still need to read
Oh, yes, you do.
because you let me borrow it.
Yes, I did. But yeah, it's And the sci-fi miniseries did a lot better job of staying relatively faithful to the book. But yeah.
Miniseries usually do because they've got more time to work
Yeah.
with.
And that's part of the problem with Dune is Dune's a 700-ish page book. Mm-hmm. It's hard to fit that into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Even with a lot of exposition. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave these with the last two unless somebody somehow magically sneaks one in. Let me make sure. Refresh it real quick. Okay, so last two, both of them from Gabe Kelly. Again, there's like so much obscure. The Beyond, which is a horror movie from 1981 apparently. Mm-hmm. And it says, and because I inadvertently brought up Kung Fu films, here an obscure, over-the-top bad one that fits the criteria, Crippled Masters.
Never seen that one.
Me either, but he put a trailer in the... So
if it's the one I'm thinking of, it was bad.
So that is a huge-ass response. So to anybody who's contributed to that, thank you. It was well beyond what I imagined as a response. So, in fact, I think all your responses officially may have made this show a almost 2-hour show. About
Jesus.
15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, we love you guys. We'll end that here. Anything else? Quick ads? Nope.
I think we covered it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Nerd Effect Podcast. Hope you guys see you next week. For the Nerd Effect Podcast, we have been
Michael Morgan,
Mason Ireland,
Nikki Prindle.
And I'm Dustin Vancouver, and for those about to nerd,
we
salute you.